Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever all of you lovely viewers are at in the world. I think I'm about a week late for this live stream here. I seem to recall that the my last live stream that I did on April 27th, which was my another high run straight pull attempt, that I said that either the next day or the next 2 days or something like a couple of days or so after that, I was going to do this live stream. But if you've been following me long enough, you've been hearing me, I guess, complain might be the right word, that I've just been stupid busy lately. Work is killing me. Anybody that's got their 9 to 5 should obviously be able to relate to that. I'm now playing APA 8 Ball on Mondays as well. So yeah, that takes away some free time. So, but I certainly am not trying to make any excuses. I'm just trying to find the free time to give all of y'all something to be able to consume, something that'll hopefully entertain you, something that'll hopefully educate you, just something for you to watch if you got some time to kill. And so, here we are. I have for you today my last two APA 8 ball matches from the spring of 2022. That was last session. The last time I reviewed two matches, that was like two live streams ago. I did two matches from that same session. So we're pretty much going to wrap things up for this session or for that last session. We've already started this session. I had a match on this past Monday, and I had a match this past Wednesday. Now, the Monday match I'm going to be able to share. I don't have anything to share for Wednesday, and it's not because I lost. I just don't have the recorded footage. So when I get another match to tag on to the Monday match, then I'll start doing another live stream for this coming session. Now, nonetheless, I've been doing a lot of blabbing on, and I don't even know if y'all could hear me. So if you could do me a favor, just spam whatever you want in the live chat just to let me know that you can hear me. Give me some thumbs up, give me some fist bumps or whatever. Make sure that you can hear me loud and clear so I know if I have to tweak any of the audio settings. And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to start saying hello to some people. So, David Charles, Ron Johnson, what's going on, bud? Todd Elston, good to see you. John Motto. Leon Segopa, I hope I said that right. And I wish I knew what ZA stood for. I do apologize for that. Where is that from? South Africa. Welcome to being here, and I really do enjoy that you enjoy watching my stuff and that you're able to learn from it. That is awesome, man. I really do appreciate that. Craig Downey, my fellow Texan, Corner 4 Billiards, Loping CSF. What's going on, Craig? Triple T Garage. Did I say John Motto already? I did. So you get a double shout out. Adam Noonan, John Jones, Rick Green, and Howard Kirsch. How's it going? And looks like everybody can hear me okay, so this is awesome. All right, so I've already done this before. Like I said, it's gonna be two matches. I've done it before to where I did four, and it turned out to be a really long live stream. I like a 4 or 5 hour live stream. And what I was doing at the time was I was reviewing those matches, and then I was clipping out each match and posting them as separate videos. Well, I've since then stopped doing that and figured, well, let me just do the live stream and just that'll be the footage. And then so when the live stream is over, I go back into the video and basically timestamp everything so you know where each rack is, what match, where the first match starts and ends, and where the second match starts and ends, where there's an intermission break. So it's a little bit easier for you to be able to just jump around the video, whereas when you're watching this live with me, you're going to see it from beginning to end. And then I just leave it alone from there. So I dropped it down to reviewing 3 matches, and that still turned out to be relatively long. And in my last live stream where I reviewed 2 matches, that fell short of just being just short of 3 hours, which I thought was good. And so I figured that's pretty much what I'm going to stick with, and that's reviewing 2 matches. How long it's going to take is all really going to depend on how much detail I go into reviewing these matches. It could be long, it could be short. We're just not entirely sure, especially with how much interaction I get out of everybody here in the live chat. So this should be a lot of fun. Now, if you can do me a favor, I do see that currently there are 37 of you in here and I only have 19 likes. So if you haven't done so already, please give this stream a thumbs up. It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm, so that way hopefully other viewers can discover this live stream and come watch it, or come watch it after the fact. So I would really appreciate that. And every once in a while, if y'all really want to help me out, just let new people that jump into the chat to smash that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it. The second thing is, if you were to look at the pinned comment in the live chat, you will see that I am giving away a cue. A couple of weeks ago, I did a product review on the J Flowers JF Force, otherwise known as the JF-BK2. This is a brake cue. So here's what it looks like. If you want to know any more great details about this cue, go watch that product review video. I could just summarize and tell you that it was, what was it, 19.4 ounces, 13 millimeter pro taper shaft, phenolic tip. There are weight bolts in here that you can take out, and if you do take them out, it comes out to 18 ounces. But if you are interested in winning this cue for free, there can only be one winner. If you watch that product review video, I would like that product review video to get 1,000 likes on it. So if you haven't seen it already, and you do decide to go and watch it, if you could like the video, and then leave a comment on that video. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you need to be subscribed to my channel, because I only do giveaways to people that are subscribed to me. And then you also have to make sure that your subscription list is public, because when I go live after the video gets at least 1,000 likes, or just a significant amount of time passes by, and I'm just going to give the cue away. Like, there's no more likes that the video could possibly get. It's the view count is completely died out and stuff. I'll still eventually give it away, but I'd like it to at least get 1,000 likes, if I can. What I'll do is I'll do another live stream similar to this, except I'll be announcing the winner, because what I'll do is randomly select a comment out of the video, and when I select that comment, I'm going to go to that user's YouTube channel, regardless if they produce any content, and then check their subscription list. Because if I can't see their subscription list, they won't be an eligible winner, and I'll just go and pick somebody else. And if I can see their subscription list, but I'm not in it, then that's not going to be an eligible winner, and I'm just going to pick somebody else. And then I learned something new from Shortstop on Pool YouTube channel. When he did his last giveaway, he did something really cool that covers a good security flaw. And that is, when he selected a winner, when the winners contact him, he would actually send them a code. And it was up to the winner to take that code and edit their comment by putting that code in. So that way he has full awareness that the right user had contacted them, because only the owner of the comment can edit the comment. So that's actually something new that I'm going to try, because I've always wondered about, after I select a winner, if the wrong person is going to try to contact me and pass themselves off as the winner. And it would be rather difficult for me to be able to prove or disprove if they are who they say they are. Now, fortunately, as far as I know, no one has ever done that. All winners of all my previous giveaways have been legit, and the people that have come forth to claim their prize have been the real people. And when they receive their stuff, I ask them to take pictures. I ask them to take videos of them using their stuff, so that way I can feature them in some sort of either video or live stream or something, so that way everybody can see that I actually do give these things away to people. They don't pay a single dime. They just end up, spending 15 minutes, maybe an hour or two if they're part of a live stream, and they can possibly win something absolutely free, because that's just my way of showing my appreciation for all of y'all that enjoy watching my stuff. That either if it makes you laugh, if it makes you feel better about yourself because maybe you think you're better than me, that's cool. Or if you learn something, one way or the other. So yeah, that's gonna be that there. And I don't think I have anything else that I really need to announce as far as I can tell. So I think without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the first match. Ah, why does that say 4? There we go. I should say 0. Okay, there we go. All right, so in this matchup here, I am playing up against a skill level 5 in this one. Now, this gal that I'm playing actually used to be a skill level 6. And so I would say most of the time, if I'm playing somebody that was at a higher skill level and then fell down one level, that can kind of worry me a little bit, considering that now they would only have to win one less game. So whereas before, if I would have played her as a 6, this would be a race to 5-4. But now she only has to go to 3. I do believe that this team on this night, I think they had a 7 on the team. Let me see if I can actually determine that. But I don't remember. I don't remember if the 7 was there that night. It's just one of those things to where it's like, I obviously can only play who's there, right? Let's see here. Let me see if I can find their roster. No, I take that back. The highest skill level that they have are 5s. There are 3 of them that were on the roster that they had for this particular session, and this is the one I got to play on this particular night. So yeah. Now, for anybody that's new to this, what I basically do is I commentate through what's going to happen. I don't always remember everything that happens during the night, so you're going to hear me call some shots correctly, and you're going to hear me call some shots incorrectly. And what I like to do, like the reason why I like to do this stuff is for 2 reasons. One, I get to watch myself play, and then as I'm watching myself play, I can actually critique myself and actually see, like, wait a minute, why did I do what I did when I could have done this or I could have done that? Like I end up seeing things that I possibly could have done better. And that ends up helping me in the long run because I end up trying to remember these things in each and every match. So that helps me improve my skill or improve my game. And on top of that, well, if my game's improving, then hopefully your game will be improving. So what you'll end up seeing here is if you look up in the upper right corner, you see a little cue ball diagram, and there's that little red dot in the center of the cue ball. Well, I can move this red dot around, so I can tell you when I'm hitting with top spin and how much top spin, or when I'm using bottom spin, left spin or right spin, and then everywhere in between. And like I said, the funny part of this stream is going to be is when I call a shot wrong and I go like, I think I'm doing this, and I end up putting the cursor or the red dot somewhere over here and go, whoop, never mind, it was actually supposed to be right spin. Things like that are going to happen because I don't remember everything that happened on this particular night. And then of course I'll be trying to commentate and predict what I think my opponent was doing, as well as offer advice to the opponent as well, just in case she happens to catch this live stream. So, if she decides to take any of the advice that I give her, then hopefully that helps improve her game. And then if any of you feel related to my opponent's skill level, then hopefully the advice can help you out. So like everybody gets to benefit from this. I get to benefit from it. My opponent gets to benefit from it, and hopefully all of y'all get to benefit from this. So that's why I really enjoy doing this stuff. Okay, so let's see who's going to break first. Let's watch the lag. Lag's looking really close. Oh, but look at that. She got me on that one. She did her lag perfectly. All right, so we're just going to fast forward, get to the part where she breaks. All right, here we go. Let's see how she decides to break. Okay, she likes to use a rail bridge. That cue ball is kind of far away for a rail bridge, but obviously it works for her. It looks like she made 2 balls on the break. I believe they were both solids. Looks like the 1 ball and the 7 ball are gone, so she's going to be solids while I'm going to be stripes. Doesn't look like she has much of a starter here except for maybe the 6 in the upper right corner pocket. And if she does decide to shoot that, she can just possibly lead to the 4. My only concern that I would see here is what is she going to do with this 5 ball here if she's planned that part out so far. All right, so gently shoot the 6 in. Probably could have gone ahead and hit it just a little bit harder so that way it hits this rail and then bounces back this way so she doesn't have this back cut on the 4 ball that she's going to try to take here to the bottom right corner pocket. She could be a straighter. A little clip off the 2, and that actually prevents her from being able to make the 4 ball. So now I get to come to the table. Now, whenever I come to the table, it doesn't matter if it's after the break. It's just whenever I come to the table, when it's my turn, this is what I typically do. Actually, it could be different because if it's an open table, which in this case it's not, I actually do something a little bit different. But when I have a chosen set, which is stripes in this case, this is what I tend to do. The first thing I have to do is I have to know where every one of my stripes are. Here's the 11, and here's the 14. And then, of course, where is the 8 ball? All right, because when I know where all of my stripes are, the next thing I want to try to do is figure out which ones are going to be the hardest to deal with. All right, so when we look at the layout of this table, the 12 ball is blocked by the 4, but at least goes over here. So if I can get my cue ball to land somewhere over here, I can shoot this 12 ball over here. 14 ball obviously goes here or goes here, but like I said, when it comes to the 12, I have to get my cue ball over here. So that kind of tells me that if I were to, right now with my opening shot, shoot the 14 into this corner pocket here, and I actually use a bit of top spin so I can get the cue ball to just roll forward, that's going to hopefully allow me to land somewhere in this position. Then I can play with the 12 and then come deal with that. But that's only dealing with just these 2 balls. Now I got to come up here and look at this stuff, right? Especially this. What am I going to do with this? 14 ball, I'm not so much worried about because it goes here or here, all depending upon where I can get my cue ball to land. And let's actually put this back. And I'm not so much worried about this guy because he can go here. So as long as my cue ball can end up somewhere over here, I can shoot it into the 11 ball into the top left corner pocket, and then the 8 ball is now free to go into the top left or the top right corner pocket as well. So now we're back down to just talking about this again. What am I going to do here? It looks like the 15 ball might be able to go down here, but the only way for me to get position is to use the 14 ball, so that way my cue ball can hopefully be somewhere in this area here. Like, this is literally what I'm thinking about before I even decide to shoot the first shot. And then when it comes to these 2, I at least see this, or I can shoot the 11 ball, and as long as my cue ball is somewhere right here, and have it come into these 2 stripes here and try to open them up. Those are all the different things that I think about of how I could possibly run the rack right now, so long as my cue ball control works, is accurate. Because once I figure all that out, then I start to piece the rack together. So having said all that, let's see if I actually start with the 14 ball and then take out the 12 ball, because then I will be done with the bottom half of the table, and I can go up to the top half of the table and then try to minimize my cue ball movement because there's no reason for me to come to the bottom half of the table. And as long as I'm minimizing my cue ball movement, that should allow me to be that should allow me to have a higher chance of being successful. All right, so like I said, it does look like I'm going to be using top spin. So like I said, I just roll forward to get position on the 12. Oh, never mind. What the heck was I doing? Let's look at that again. See, that's what I'm saying? Like, should I have done that? Well, considering that now that I see that this isn't as straight as I thought, I end up coming to the short rail. So what in the world was I possibly trying to do? I would have to think then, since I saw this and my cue ball was going this way, obviously I don't want to scratch. I must have wanted to have hit this rail and come over here like this for, I don't know, that sometimes the camera angle doesn't give me everything that I want. So I don't know actually now, considering the shot that I tried to do, does this ball go here? Because if it does, then I'm trying to get position on these two balls here, which is actually kind of bad when you think about it, because now that I've isolated this ball down here, I have to use one of these balls to come back down here in order to shoot him over here in order to come back up here. Lots of cue ball movement, right? And so when there's lots of cue ball movements, the margin of error gets bigger and bigger, and we want to keep that margin as small as possible. But nonetheless, I freaking scratched, so that's that there, so my opponent gets ball in hand. Go ahead and watch this scratch again. So this was with top left. I said just top spin, it was with top left. And actually, I just didn't put enough left spin because I'm pretty sure I wanted to hit the side rail before the side pocket and obviously not scratch. All right, so now with cue ball in hand, let's see what my opponent thinks is the hardest ball to play position on. And if she's able to take her ball in hand and shoot that ball, will she do that? So for example, it looks like the 5 ball is the hardest ball, but it doesn't look like it goes anywhere. And she's going to decide to take the 4 ball, which is an okay decision because now, like I said, she's done with the bottom half of the table. Right? But now I'm only curious, what is she going to do with that 5 ball? So I can only guess maybe she hit that just a tad bit too soft. It looks like if we just allow the cue ball to just keep rolling, she ends up over here for the 2 ball to go into the side pocket. But it looks like she's going to try to cut the 2 into the upper right corner pocket. That's going to send the cue ball over towards the 3 and the 15. Gets a friendly little bump off of the 3 and the 15. She can cut the 3 ball, but what about the 5? This is a topic that I've been talking about a lot, especially with my APA team members here, about when you're able to make balls just to make balls, but then you don't know what in the world you're going to do with the balls that you cannot make, you basically should not be shooting the balls that you can shoot just to get them off the table. Because now, unless she gets super lucky, I'm coming back to the table with hardly any obstacles. And that's going to make it relatively easier for me to be able to clear the table. Obviously doesn't guarantee that I'm going to clear the table, but it's certainly easier because there's hardly any of her solids on the table for me that I might accidentally run into or whatever. So it's not really a good thing to do. You can say to yourself, well, I only have 1 ball left on the table, but my opponent has 6 or 7 balls on the table, so I'm ahead, so I'm good. But let me ask you this. How many times have you been in that situation, and then every time you miss, you let your opponent come to the table, and then when they shoot and when they miss, for some odd particular reason, you don't have a shot, right? You end up either getting luckily safed or safed on purpose. Because what happens here now, because of the type of player I am, if I don't run this out, I'm going to make her chase after that last ball. Unless I just royally screw up, which is possible, right? Because that's the position she's in. She's waiting for me to royally screw up in order to give her a chance at shooting her 5 ball in and then possibly winning the rack. That's the only thing that she can rely on. So technically speaking, she's relying on luck in order to win this rack. She has now lost control of the rack. And so long as I don't do anything stupid, I have full control of this current rack. Therefore, I should win the rack. There's a small possibility I'll lose the rack, but I should win the rack. So think about it. If you find yourself in situations like this, you might want to reconsider of shooting balls off the table just to be able to shoot balls off the table. Because you see here, when she tried to kick at her 5 ball and missed, I took my ball in hand and dealt with my issue, right? So when you look at the lay of the table, there's no more issue now. Right, so we look at this here. It looks like I'm going to be shooting the 15 ball, elevated cue with a little bit of draw. That's going to pull the cue ball past the middle of the table. Or never mind, just drew it back. It gives me position on the 13. I have position on the 14 as well. I tend to believe I'm going to shoot the 14 ball, probably with some left spin, and try to come around the 9 ball. Or no, maybe that's right spin. You see what I mean? Where I can hardly remember what I might have done. That's right spin, and I almost want to believe that I had to have been trying to get position for this guy, but overran it. And it's actually okay that I overran it because now I have this guy. So when I look at this, there's actually a number of options that I can have here. This looks like I'm going to shoot this with some top spin here, so the cue ball's going to start rolling towards the middle of the table. I can get position for the 13 in the side, or I can get position for the 9 ball. It doesn't really matter. Now, bumping into the 13 ball, you see me like I threw my hand up like that. That's something I didn't want to do, right? Because I can bump into the ball and just something could go wrong. But because of what I got here, I can shoot the 13 into the side pocket. I think I have a boatload of left spin because when I run into the 9 ball, the 9 ball is going to track its way closer to this corner pocket. When my cue ball hits the rail, I want it to die. Now, unfortunately, it didn't die enough. It shortened the rebound angle, but I end up getting hooked behind the 5 ball. So maybe I should have hit it a little bit harder, just so that way it rolls a little bit farther. That means the 9 ball rolls a little bit farther, or I could have hit it a little bit softer. So I have no choice at this point but to kick at the 9. All right, so here you're going to see me use just a simple measuring system here. I remember if I think I tried eyeballing it, and then I tried measuring it. So right there. So what I'm looking at is where I have to. What I tend to do for one rail kicks, I look at how do I kick that cue ball directly into the pocket. And so I can see the track line of how the cue ball would go directly into the pocket, and then I try to assess if that track line is either going to hit my object ball, let alone make my object ball. So if I detect that it's not going to make it, I make a small adjustment and then try to do a one rail kick. And here, I think I just have a rolling cue ball, just a little bit of top spin, gentle kick right into the 9 ball and make it. It's great that I'm still at the table, but now what do I do? Right? I can try to cut the 8 ball down here. That's really risky. Or I can try to bank the 8 ball into the cross side pocket. Which one would y'all do? Would you cut it or would you bank it? As you can see here with my little Alvin figurine here, because one of my APA teammates is Alvin, and this is actually his pocket marker that he likes to use, I'm going to attempt to bank the 8 ball into the cross side pocket. Again, I think with just a rolling cue ball. And I'm actually just going to try to float this 8 ball in, because if I were to miss, which I didn't, I don't want the 8 ball to hit short of the side pocket and then double bank over to the other side pocket, because then I lose, right? I end up making the 8 ball into the wrong pocket. So I'm able to end that rack with a one rail kick shot and a one rail bank shot. So let's go to my break. Now, I think at this point in time, if you've seen my last live stream, I told you how I was starting to transition from doing a square head-on hit from this approach angle here to now I'm starting to do my classic break and cut the head ball here. So you're actually going to watch my cue ball fly off to the left because I tried to make that 5 ball into the side pocket. So I use a little bit of bottom left spin, but if I cut the head ball too much, you see how I didn't make it? If I cut the head ball too much, then that's why the head ball will miss high, like it did. Yeah, caught the point. Now it looks like I get some balls bumped around, and I make a solid and a stripe, so the table is open. If I would have missed the side pocket here low, that tells me that I'm actually hitting the 5 ball too straight. So I'm trying to regain whatever that sweet spot is, and that's regardless if there's any gaps in the rack, to try to get that head ball to go right over to the side pocket. All right, so now here I am at the table and I'm doing the exact same thing, except I have an open table. So now that I have an open table, I have to look at everything and try to assess, well, which one do I think I can actually run out? So it looks like I decided on solids here because it looks like I'm going to cut the 5 ball into the bottom right corner pocket. Let's see what kind of spin I might use because I can't tell. I'll tell after the fact. So that looks like that was just a rolling cue ball. And I just let the cue ball go. And you can see I missed. So now the table is still open. So my opponent gets to come to the table and choose. And if I had to guess, it's probably going to be solids. One ball sitting pretty here to go here into the side pocket. But just because it's an obvious shot doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best shot to take. Sometimes a harder shot might actually be the best shot because it's going to reap the most rewards if you are successful. A lot of times I do say that you should play the percentages, but then every once in a while there's going to be an exception to where you possibly should play something else. And it looks like she doesn't like solids. And I don't like solids either, to be honest here. I actually like stripes better. So she attempts to go for stripes, but is unsuccessful. Now, why don't I like solids? Let's look at this. Let's look at this layout before she decides to shoot. Why don't I like solids? Well, look at the 2 ball. Look at the 3 and the 4. Right? She could bank the 5 if she wanted to. But when you look at these 2 here, how do we solve these 2 issues? And what I mean by that is there a ball that we can shoot at, make it, and then get the cue ball to break these open? I mean, there really isn't. The 6 ball at least goes here, which means you have to have some sort of an angle like this. So you might be able to use the 6 ball to one rail open up the 3 and the 4, but then now what about the 2? Right? It's a very difficult layout to be able to run solids. Therefore, it's probably just not the best thing in the world to choose solids. But now that I think about it, actually, because of this 11, the 1 ball here going into the side pocket leads to the 2. And so after you move the 6, maybe you can do this, but you have to get the 11 ball out of the way. So it all adds up to where still it looks like solids to me is just the harder set to run. Whereas stripes is a little bit more out in the open. Right? When we look at this, the only issue we really have is the 9 ball, but there's plenty of balls that we can actually use to deal with it. So her choosing stripes, to me, was the better option than choosing solids, even though there's a very obvious shot where you can actually take solids. So I hope that makes sense. So it looks like she overcuts the ball, so I get to come to the table. Now, when you look at solids and stripes again, stripes is still better. Right? You see me, because this is the part that I'm looking at. I automatically detect where is the trouble spot. But I've got balls that are going to allow me to be able to deal with the trouble spot. So I'm going to try to take stripes. So it looks like I'm going to shoot the 13 ball. I'm so close to the rail, so I have to have some top spin. That's top right spin. As I float it over to the other side to get to the 11 ball. This looks like I have the angle. It looks like I have an angle to where I can try to do this. I don't think this is the smartest thing in the world to do, and that's why I didn't do it, so that's good. But does that mean that I ended up shooting that with just a stun shot? That's because I saw that I can land right in the window for this 15 ball, and I just float that in. And then now look, I've got these 2 stripes here to hopefully open this guy up. Let's see how I'm going to try to do that. Elevated shot on the 12 ball. That must be with a little bit of draw. So that way I can try to break that 9 open. Just like that. Now, it looks like I'm left with a really thin cut shot on the 10 ball. So I got to do some really good cue ball movement to make sure I get position on the 9. I would have to think I'm doing this with right spin to get it out of the corner there. Never mind. That was left spin. And did I overcut that? Did I cut that ball backwards, or did I hit the side rail? No, I drastically undercut that ball. I instantly hit the side rail and then missed the shot. So now, look at my 10 ball. This kind of sucks. So now when you think about it, I'm in the position that I talked about in the first rack that she was in. I only have 2 balls left on the table while she has 6. So the question is going to be, is she going to try to finish the table Or is she going to maybe make a ball or two and then play some sort of a defensive shot to where maybe I can make my 9 ball, but I can't break out my 14 ball. Or maybe I can't see either of them and I have to kick, possibly giving her ball in hand. These would be things that I would hope that she tends to think about every time she comes to the table. Right? She has to be able to really say to herself, be honest, or any of y'all, like you have to be honest with yourself to say, can I run this out? Because if I can't, I certainly need to come up with some sort of plan. Right? So she plays the 1 into the side pocket. Looks like she has a shot on the 2. She might be able to break out her 6 ball, but then look at the 3 and the 4. If I had to guess, I'm going to come back to the table after the 2 and the 6. Uh-oh. She overcuts the 2 ball, grazes off of the 6 ball, and then scratches. But do y'all see what I mean? If she would have made the 2 ball, what can she possibly do after that? All she can do is just give me back the table. Might not be the best thing in the world to do. And definitely it's not the best thing in the world to do to give me ball in hand. Because like I said, since I know that my 10 ball is the worst ball that I have, that's the ball that I'm going to shoot at. Right? And so the 9 ball freely goes past the 4 ball here into the corner pocket here. So what I'm trying to look for is an angle to where I think I put bottom left spin, so that way I can pull the cue ball off of the side rail and have it come back towards the middle of the table to have shape on the 9 in the corner. Just like that. And if anybody's wondering, because of how fast it's going, if that was a foul, what you're going to see is the cue ball actually hops into the air, and that's why the 6 ball actually does move. So as I move this frame by frame, you can see right there, my ball is contacted first, and the cue ball is off the table. So that means it can't come backwards until it lands back on the table. And right here, you can see that's when the 6 gets hit, and then the bottom spin finally takes effect. So now I have position on the 9 ball here. I do believe I play this with some top left spin. Cue ball should come 2 rails out of the corner here. Maybe not that much top based on what I'm looking at. There's that. There's that. Oh, okay. So I played over here so that way I can shoot the 8 into the side pocket. And so if I would have hit this a little too hard, as the cue ball hits this rail and starts to float down, I get a shot here into the upper right corner pocket. And if it keeps on going, depending upon how hard or how soft I hit, I get a shot here. So like there's multiple places that I could have ended up when I went that route. Okay, and that puts me up 2-0. And I think at this time, I'm still shooting with the Predator Victory soft tip. At this point in time here, I haven't changed to the Hal soft tip. But in the match that I have for this session that we're in now, I obviously have the Hal soft tip on my Predator Black 4.5. All right, let's see here. So let's see if I can keep my cue ball from going behind the rack. Watch the 4 ball. Let's see if it goes towards that side pocket again. See it? Bam! Straight into the side pocket. That's what I consistently try to do with that type of break. It looks like I got the bottom left spin to work because now my cue ball is in the middle of the table. So I think I'm solids. I don't think a stripe dropped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm solids. So now I get to rinse and repeat the entire process. Can I run this out from here? Are there any trouble spots? If there are, how can I possibly deal with them? Let's see. So it looks like we're starting with the 2 ball. Have to have some left spin here so I can just have the cue ball hit the side rail, come up a little bit higher and hit the other side rail just like that. This looks like it gives me position for the 1 ball. I have to get the 1 ball out of the way so that way I can shoot the 7. Now, did you see what I just did there? Let's go back. That right there. I'm saying to myself, what in the world am I going to do here? So, right, so I have my shots that I can take, but I have to come over here and look and go, okay, what am I going to do? How can I use this 3 ball to possibly assist my 5 ball? Right, because I don't remember if I can actually shoot the 3 past this stripe here to get on the short side of the 5 to go here. Now, it looks like I'm trying to play from the 1 to the 6 because it looks like I have some draw on the cue ball. but I end up undercutting the ball. So this is all the crap that goes through my head every time that I play. Some people might say that I'm overthinking everything, but I've done it so much, like I've practiced playing this way so much that it just feels natural to me. And this is usually typically what I try to teach my players as well, to make sure that they're just fully aware of what they're capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing, and with what they are capable of doing, build some sort of plan around the table. You know, like when you know you're going to give the table back to your opponent, play some sort of a defensive shot, or uh, force them to do something. Actually, when I make a video about safeties, like there'll be some strategical safety shots that I can actually demonstrate to everybody that'll hopefully help. All right, so she wasn't able to make her stripe, and what the heck am I doing here? So there, the 3 ball did pass past the stripes there, so that allows me to get on the short side of the 5 ball. So now I can deal with this 5-1 combination. But then, what about the 8 ball? Where does the 8 ball go? All right, so if it doesn't go anywhere, I need to figure out how to get the 8 ball to move. So gently play the 5-1 combination with a little bit of topspin, so that way the 5 ball kind of replaces the 1 ball, and that way I can play the 5 ball next. Now it looks like I have a pretty severe cut shot here, so, well, why did I say that? I have a back cut shot on the 5 ball, so I wonder, am I going to try to play position, or am I going to try to move the 8 and have this 7 ball as a backup shot? All right, if I shoot this with, I think, top right spin, the cue ball will knock the 5 in, hit this rail, and come over here and bump the 8, and this looks like I think that's the 15 ball, and then I might have a shot at the 7. But is that what I do? No, I just gently play this in. Who cares? You're asking how tight are the pockets. These are pro cut pockets, so they're just 4.5 on the corner pockets and 5-inch on the side pockets, just like how I have on my 8-foot table. All right, so let's see here. I actually have an angle on this 6 ball now to where if I draw the ball a little bit, I can do the same exact thing that I just talked about from the previous shot. I would want to bump into the 15 and the 8 ball, hopefully put the 8 ball out in the open, and have this 7 ball into the side pocket. I'm curious if that's what I'm going to try. See what I mean? I bumped the 15 out of the way, but now that I think about it, the 8 ball goes here in the side pocket as well. Now the problem is with the 8 ball going here in the side pocket, how do I get the cue ball over here in order to do that? Well, you see I've got some bottom spin. Do I have any other spin on it? Let's find out. Cue ball's drawing. That's got to be with some left spin, I think. And I'm behind the 8 ball like I want. Obviously, I hit it a little too hard. I think the ideal position would be for the cue ball to have stopped right here, because it's kind of a straighter shot to go here into the side pocket. But now I've got to kind of back cut it into the side pocket. So not the most ideal position to be in, but I got there. Do I actually make the ball? I'm so close to the rail. This has just got to have top spin on the cue ball. And I overcut the ball. Oh man, I overcut the ball. Now, again, if you're in this position, oh, looks like we got some happy customers in there. Everybody's saying hi to the camera. These are my locals. They love it when they see the camera. When I bring it in to record my matches and then record my teammate matches. So now she's in the same position here, right? You know, if she feels confident that she can run the table, then by all means go ahead and try to run the table. But when you can look at your own skill level and go like, yeah, I don't know the entire route that I'm going to play, well, then you definitely would want to obviously consider where this ball is at, where I'm on the 8 ball. So you need to be fully aware of where that's at, because you need to know where you don't want the cue ball to be when you miss, or when you know you're going to give the table back to me. So it looks like she's going to be trying to go for the whole thing. So what I'm curious about is, what is her pattern? She's got a fairly straight shot for the 15 ball to go into the side pocket. What is going to be the last ball that she gets position on before she gets position on the 8, and where is the 8 going to go? Okay, good shot there. She has a shot on the 9 ball. It's a difficult shot. Close shot on the 12 ball. And then she has her 14 in the upper right corner. I actually like shooting the 14. All right, so that way I'm just done with that half of the table. Okay, looks like she agrees. I like how slow and smoothly she's playing. It's one of the very first things that I always teach every one of my APA teammates. Hit soft and smooth. That way you're more accurate. And then as you get better, I start teaching you how to hit the cue ball with a little bit more pace. So that way we can actually control the outcome of where the cue ball might land. All right, we're going for the 12. The only problem about going for the 12 is that the cue ball can only get positioned for the 13 ball. Well, never mind, because she hit that just a tad bit too hard. I don't know if she's going to want to try to thin cut the 13 ball. She has a shot on the 9 ball. Let's go back and look at that. I actually want to see if there's just something different that she could have done here. All right, because if we look at the way that she shot that shot, she basically floated it. And I don't know. Y'all would have to tell me, does this 9 ball go? Like, I can't tell. I'll even try to use a straight line tool. Like, is the 13 ball in the way? I don't know. Because if it's not in the way, I'd be shooting the 9 ball. At least for me, that's what I'd be trying to do. I'm not sure. But if she's dead set on shooting this 12 ball, you know, and the cue ball does this, like, I don't know. I feel like since this is where the cue ball is going anyway, I want the cue ball to come down here, so that way I can get position on the 13 up here. It feels like she tried to hit this soft enough to where she can have position on the 13, because the angle that she has on the 9 ball, me personally, I don't like it. I don't know about how the rest of y'all feel. Right? I mean, I would think that she wanted the cue ball like right here, and then she's got this nice cut shot on the 13 ball. Now she has to shoot this 9 ball. Or, I mean, unless she feels confident that she's going to try to cut the 13 ball. And she feels confident. I like it. Look at that. Lots of topspin. Oh, but not enough pace behind the ball. So look what I'm left with. She didn't make the ball. I can't shoot it. What do you think I might do? So here I am looking at my options, and you can see I'm going to try to bank it into the upper left corner pocket from our viewpoint. So remember the first rack, I kicked the last ball in, banked the 8 ball in, and I think on the last rack I just ran out, and then here is another bank shot. Pocket speed. Just enough pace for it to get up there. And then also notice this. How many of y'all attempt to do this? Look where my cue ball goes. Why do you think I would have allowed my cue ball to do this? Because this is what I like to call protecting the cue ball. All right? Because if I didn't hit this with enough pace, or if it just didn't drop, it ended up hitting the short rail, or it hit the side rail and then just ended up missing. Well, she can't do anything with her 15 ball, and since the 8 ball is somewhere up here towards this corner pocket, it's pretty dangerous to shoot the 9 ball into this corner pocket. she would have to try to, I don't know, thinly cut the 9 ball over here. Maybe play the 9 ball into the upper right corner pocket. Maybe try to do a bank combo, right? This shot here basically does two things for me. It's both offensive and defensive at the same time, just in case I happen to miss. And that's why I ended up playing it that way. Let's go on, get to my next break. Here, bottom left. And it looks like I missed low on the side pocket. Let's take a look at it again. So this tells me, again, it could be that there's a possible gap in the rack, but no big deal. Since I missed low, that I actually hit the head ball just, I'm still cutting it, obviously, because my cue ball goes to the left, but I'm not cutting it enough. Because remember, if it hits low, that means I have a flatter hit, and if it hits high, I'm cutting it too much. So always try to find that little sweet spot to where I can just get the head ball to just float straight over to the side pocket. So I think this is an open table. That's why she's here now. So let's see what she does. She likes solids. And if she likes solids, I'm curious as to why not the 7 ball. She goes for the 3 ball. Great shot from that distance there, especially using nothing but topspin because she was so close to the rail. But I'd be curious as to why not the 7 ball. That ball's a little bit closer, and I think it yields more results as far as what ball you can play position on next. Looks like she's going to shoot the 5 ball here into the bottom right corner pocket. Ooh, barely, and I was able to avoid the scratch with my ball protecting. So now we look at this here, right? So the whole time, what I hope she was doing is figuring out what the heck she's going to do here, using maybe the 2 ball or the 1 ball, because now I get to do the same exact thing. What in the world am I going to do here, let alone what am I going to do here? So when it comes to the 10 ball, I know I can shoot the 10 ball here, and that'll allow me to free up the 14. I just need to bump the 14 just a little past the 1, so that way it goes here into the corner pocket. 15 ball might be a little bit of an issue here, right? Can't pass the 8, can't pass the 1, so not sure. Got the 9 ball, no issue. This is obviously not an issue, and this is obviously not an issue. Now, I don't remember if I go ahead and shoot this or if I go ahead and shoot this, because ideally, I would like to use this ball here to break open this ball. But I don't remember if I shoot this now or if I shoot the 10. Let's find out. Okay, so I go ahead and take out the gimme. What am I doing here? Do I cheat the pocket and break it out now? Yep, that's what I did. Didn't really reward me for anything. If anything, it helped her out, wouldn't you say? I freed up her ball, and look what I did. All right, so that's obviously the danger that you have to take into consideration when the cue ball is going to bump into balls, especially if you're just going to break up clusters. Right? You gotta make sure you know where the clusters are going, so that way you don't make anything worse. You want to try to improve the layout of the table for you, not make it worse. So I kind of made it a little bit worse, and now it looks like I'm going to try to improve it again with the 11 ball. Top spin on the cue ball, cut the 11 ball into the side pocket, and try to break everything open. So this works a little bit better. I am fortunate. So I can always acknowledge when I get lucky. I am fortunate I can see this 10 ball. I might be able to shoot the 10 ball down here into the bottom left corner pocket. That still doesn't help me figure out what the heck am I going to do with the 15. Unless I have an angle here to where if I hit the 10 ball, I might be able to hit the 15 ball and push it a little bit more closer over here. And actually, now that I think about it, I might be able to make the 15 into the side pocket. And so this is what I like about looking at this stuff after the fact. What did I do versus what I think I could do now that I get to see it after the fact. So top spin again. Is it the 10 ball? 10 ball goes into the side pocket. Okay. That gave me automatic position for the 14 ball. What the heck am I going to do with the 15 ball? Obviously, that means I'm going to play for the 13 next. Does that mean I'm going to try to play the 13 ball, bump into the 8 so I can play the 15 ball here into this side pocket? That could be a thing. What is this? Is this a rolling cue ball or a stun shot? One or the other. It's a rolling cue ball. I'm obviously not happy with that. You saw me shake my head. So this makes me wonder if I'm going to shoot it in and try to come around. So there's that. If y'all are not aware of doing stuff like that, if you usually have a pretty good idea of where the cue ball is going to go, it's usually a good thing to go and look at your next shot to see where exactly you need the cue ball to go to know if this is going to be a good positional shot or not. All right, so that's why you saw me go over there. You saw me lay my cue down like I'm going to take a fake shot, basically, in order to tell me that, yeah, this is going to work. I can play the 15 ball into the side pocket, and therefore I should be able to shoot the 8 ball into the upper left corner pocket. But what does it matter if I miss? I do all that work just to miss that shot. So, if anything, what should I have done differently? Because if we look at what the cue ball is doing here, I hit that with top right spin. Right? You can see the cue ball go over to the side rail, and then it spins just underneath the 4 ball without touching the 4 ball. And now I have, and basically give me perfect shape on the 8. So really, maybe I shouldn't have used any side spin, right? Maybe I should have just hit top spin. And if what I'll never know is if I would have just shot the same exact way, but removed the top spin, would I have made the shot? Or did I just not aim correctly? All right, those would be how I would try to figure this stuff out to know what exactly was my mistake. Usually the foundational mistake is going to be you just weren't aiming correctly. Other things could be like not compensating for cue ball deflection. I might have twerked or tweaked my stroke at the last second, just jabbed one way or the other. Who knows? Did you notice your cue level? I was hitting down on the cue ball. Let's take a look. I mean, I'm as leveled as I can be, right? My bridge hand is off of the, my fingers are on the table, so that way my bridge is on the table, and so I kind of have to be slightly angled downward, right? I don't want to skip over the cue ball, but so what I'm pretty sure, Robert, what you're asking is this elevation, because I mean it's slight, right? It's not flat, it's like slight. So is this enough to where did the elevation curve the cue ball? Certainly a possibility. Certainly a possibility. So did I not compensate for that? I mean that can certainly be a thing. But I don't think I could have gotten my cue any more leveled than what I had, right? Because then I'd be risking skipping over the top of the cue ball and possibly miss cue. So that could be a reason why I've missed. Let's see. One ball in the corner naturally leads to the 2. Okay, got a little bit of a cut angle from the 2 that allows the cue ball to come off of the short rail and head towards the middle of the table, where she'll have a plethora of options. Oh, she hit that one with some pace. But she's good here, right? Because what the heck am I going to do? I can only bank this. All right, so we look at where the cue ball is at. We look at where the 15 is at. And obviously with where the 6 is at means I can't bank it to the bottom right corner pocket. So I have to try to bank it to the right side pocket. So I think I have just a touch of stun with some left spin. That way I can pull the cue ball out of the left corner area of the table and have position on the 8. I barely missed that one. Barely missed that one. I am human after all. I do miss. Okay, so here she is again. She's got a decent layout here that doesn't really require a whole lot of work. Let's see what she does with it. She's going to start with the 5 ball. Can see some top spin that she has there. So the cue ball should be going to the short rail. Is it going to come behind the 6 and the 7? Looks like it does. That gives her automatic position for the 7. So if she just rolls this in, ideally you would want to play the 6 next, I would think. But there really isn't any issue with going from the 7-4-2 because the 6 automatically leads to the 6 automatically leads to the 8. So actually I don't think it would have mattered if she would have done 7-4-2 as well, but because that looks like what she was trying to do. But then look at this. I'm left with another bank shot. So this proves my point of what I'm talking about, to where, even though I had full confidence that I could run the table and I just messed up, right? That's certainly a possibility. But now that I've done that, look what's happening to me. I am having to chase after my last ball. And you can see I banked that way, way wrong. I missed that by a whole freaking diamond. Like I said, so hopefully this illustrates the point that I'm talking about, that you just don't want to put yourself in this situation if you can help it, right? So obviously I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't want to miss my last stripe when I tried to shoot it into the side pocket, but stuff like that happens, and this is what I have to deal with. So good shot here for the 6 into the bottom left corner pocket. She can either back cut the 4 ball, which is a difficult shot, or she can try to cut the 7, which is a difficult shot. If she decides to cut the 7, it would probably be a good thing if she ran into my 15 ball, so that way the cue ball is closer to the 4 ball. Yeah, kind of like that. It makes things a little bit easier. Now, when I look at this, do you try to gently roll this in and stay on the same side of the 2? Because you see, you've been watching her. She's been playing really softly. She hits the cue ball really softly. Look at that. Beautiful. Right? Just do the same thing, right? Just cut the 2 in very softly. The cue ball should come right over towards the foot spot, and then she has a shot on the 8. Uh-oh. Ooh, looks like she got away with that one. Looks like she could see past my 15 ball and has full access to the 8 ball. 8 ball in the top left corner pocket. That's what she's going for. And she takes it down. Beautiful. I was not able to 3-0 her. All right, so we've already saw one break from her, which was a rail bridge break, and she's going to do it again. Like I said, personally, I would probably say that the cue ball should be back a little bit, so that way that bridge is not as long as it is. There's a lot of margin of error for that stroke to go badly and just for her to miscue. So pull the cue ball back probably maybe 3 or 4 inches, so that way there's just less margin of error, more accuracy, and then probably more power. And you see she lost control of the break. Actually, I'm curious, did she hit where she wanted to hit? Because it looks like you can see she wants to hit the crap out of this. Let's see if I can catch exactly where she hit the cue ball on her break, because the cue ball goes up, which I obviously don't think that's what she wants to do. So we're going to play this frame by frame and see where she actually hits. I mean, I don't know. Y'all would have to tell me. That looks like she's posturing for a center cue ball hit. Here she goes. And I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. But if we watch the cue ball, Yeah, we can clearly watch the cue ball that there must have been a little bit of topspin because we can watch it hit the head ball and watch it arc its way back up towards the top right corner pocket. See that? And it actually gets an unfriendly bump from the stripe and scratches. Cue ball control sometimes. You asked if she's using a piece of chalk to mark her pocket. I don't know. Does that look like a piece of chalk? Let's take a closer look when she comes and picks it up. She picks it up. Looks like she takes it over to her team table. I don't know. I don't remember what that marker was. All right. So I've got ball in hand. It's a scratch after the break, so therefore I can only keep the cue ball behind or on the head string, and I can only shoot balls that are past the head string. But that doesn't change how I have to assess the table, right? What are the hard balls? What are the balls that are in trouble? The balls that are in trouble, are there other balls on the table that allow me to deal with them? Because that's what's going to help me determine if I want to choose the set or not. It looks like I like stripes. What am I doing here? Top left, it looks like. Am I going to try to... How am I going to break out that 11? Well, certainly not now, since I'm bridged over the 5. You can see, like I said, you would think, like, I'm not purposely trying to put myself where I have to bridge over the 5, right? And so, like, I would have to think that I wanted the cue ball to either stop here, so that way I can shoot the 14 and have the cue ball run into the 11 and 2. 15 ball would be a backup shot. Or I wanted the cue ball to roll a little bit farther, so that way I can probably do the same thing, but with top left spin and do the same thing. But since I'm bridged over the 5 ball, just a top spin hit and probably just a gentle hit. Automatic position for the 15 ball. And I got to figure out what to do with this. Have to. All right, so what do? I'm going to play this with a boatload of draw and a touch of left spin and watch what happens. Okay, I broke it out. Unfortunately, I blocked my 12. So that means I have to move the 11 out of the way. That way I can shoot the 12 into the corner pocket as well. And I think I'm fortunate. This is fortunate. I can see the 10. I think I can see the 10. All right, so this has to be with... Is this top right? Has to be. Same shot that I missed last time. Actually, this one's a little bit easier. Oh, I cut this all the way to the corner. Never mind. And I got it, but look what happens. Screw this up. Right? Things that sometimes we just don't see. All right, so I always have to make sure that I just get more and more accurate with how I predict where the cue ball is going to go. So what am I going to try to do here? This has got to be... Oh, I remember this. Look at this shot. That's on purpose. All right, so we look and see what happens with the cue ball. All right, when I look and see that this is what I'm trying to do here, that means I automatically know that my cue ball is going over here. So I don't want it to bend up, because that's what it's naturally going to do, is bend up. So I don't want it to bend up. I want it to stay as flat as it can, so I know I have a little bit of right spin on the cue ball, and that's what allows it to come back and land right behind my two stripes that are actually in trouble. Friendly little bump on the 8 ball. I will admit that. I'm pretty sure I didn't have that planned. Because why would I want to bump into the 8 ball and possibly lose? So looks like I have top spin here. I don't think I would. Yeah, you see that? I didn't want to hit the 11. Right? It just makes the shot harder. I'd rather the 11 ball sit still. And I still have a shot at it, so it looks like I might play this with some top right spin and come around this way. I don't know if I'll come through the 5 and the 6 or come all the way around the 5 and the 6. Through the 5 and the 6, and then I have a cut shot on the 8 ball. All right, so I think I probably have left spin on this. I don't want that cue ball to track towards the right corner pocket. That's a natural thing that it wants to do when you cut shots like this. All right, so a little bit of left spin to pull the ball back, and I'm able to get on the hill. So after doing so many what I like to call classic breaks, when I get on the hill, I try to end the set as quickly as I possibly can. So I try to do an 8-ball break, and I've actually been doing an 8-ball break like this now, close to the center of the cue ball with a little bit of left spin. I'm gonna try to hit the ball that's in the second row. And you can see I dislodge the 8-ball, but it just comes straight down the table and doesn't really do anything. Now, what did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like I'm solids. This is kind of runnable. 2-ball goes here into the side pocket. So I'm probably just going to try to roll this in and get position on the 5 or the 1. Or neither. Yeah, when I do this, like, what was I thinking? So this looks like a 3-6 combination. And since I'm blocking my vision, I can't see what I'm doing. It looks like maybe just a rolling cue ball. So a little bit above center, just a little bit. Okay, get the 3-6 combination. I have a shot on the 3-ball, which means now I have no choice but to try to land the cue ball right around here. So I think this has to be with a little bit of left spin. There's obviously going to be some top spin because I'm so close to the rail. See if I can spin past that 8-ball and land right there. Or I said 8-ball, I meant 9-ball. But you can see that didn't work out for me. So it looks like I'm going to try a 1-rail bank shot to the top right corner pocket. This is recovery mode. Looks like stun left spin on this one here. And I didn't cut it enough. Nor did I even get position on the 5-ball. But had I made the 1-ball, cue ball would have taken a slightly different route, and I possibly could have gotten position on the 5-ball. Okay, so my 2 solids are out in the open. So she has to either have full confidence in what she's going to do or have a good backup plan to leave that cue ball safe. Right now, we're starting off with confidence, and I like it. Be able to make that ball like she did there. That was awesome. She has the 15 in the side, maybe the 11 in the corner. 15 in the side, and it looks like the cue ball is going to drift towards that 10 ball. That's what she's going for. You would think that that's not the position that she wanted. She probably wanted to have position on the 14 or the 13 ball, but now she has to shoot the 9 in the side. This is a risky shot here. She doesn't make the ball. The 8-ball is kind of protect. Oh, I'm sorry. I remember this. This is a funny spot for me. So she misses her ball, knocks in my ball, but then now the 8-ball is also protected. But the 8-ball does go here into the top left corner pocket. I am straight in on this 5-ball. So there's really no way for me to play position if I were to shoot straight at the 5-ball. So I actually tried to do what I think it's referred to as a ticky shot, and get the cue ball to come off the rail into the 5, so that way the cue ball can kind of float its way down here and give me some sort of positional shot on the 8. That's what I'm going to try. Watch the result. Missed the ball altogether. I think I actually caught the tip of the point because I can only hit just barely past the point for me to have it for me to even have a chance, and I think I actually caught the point. Let's watch it in slow motion and see if it happens. Here we go. One frame at a time. Do I catch that point? See that? I had to have. I caught the point. I hit right here when I really wanted to hit right here. Just a very, very small difference requiring a whole lot of accuracy, and I wasn't that accurate. So, she gets ball in hand. And I opened up the table for her. So, this is what I like to do with everybody when they're watching. Here's what you have at the table. What do you do? Give me some suggestions, everybody. What's the pattern? What's the first ball and what's the last ball before the 8-ball? And then call all the shots in the middle. And let's see what we're doing here. John Jones, she used to be a 6. At this point in time, she is a 5. That's why the race is 5-3. What kind of patterns does everybody see? What do we think is the easiest pattern that has the highest chance of success for roughly any skill level? Not, I would shoot this ball and draw the cue ball 3 rails around to play position on this ball, blah, 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 right? How can we minimize the movement of the cue ball and create the highest percent chance of her being able to run out the table from here with ball in hand? MHF 1979, you're saying 13, 10, 14, 11, 9. So when I see that, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong. I see this. Cue ball, I don't know, right around here. I'm guessing a stop shot or slightly draw it back, possibly. That means we shoot the 10 ball next, again with a slight stop shot, so that way it hits the rail and kind of comes back off here. Gently shoot the 14 ball here. Possibly let it roll a little bit to about right here because that gives you this shot here. Now, I don't know where the 9 ball is going. If we're off the rail, we can play a stop shot, 9 ball, stop shot, 8 in the side. Is that what you had in mind, MHF? Because that's a really good route. Hardly any cue ball movement whatsoever, with the exception of, obviously, the cue ball has to move here with this cut angle. It's going to hit the rail and slightly come off. So depending upon the type of angle she can get here from the 14 and 11, that could change things. Everything else looks relatively simple and hardly any cue ball movement. I like it. Let's see. Craig, we've got 14, 10, 13, 11, 9. So in order for that to work, you have to play the 14 ball, I would think, like this. Because the cue ball has to stun out over here. Somewhere over here. So that way when you play the 10, you do the same exact thing and kind of stun the cue ball out. So that way you can play a 13 like this. Stop shot. Stop shot. Stop shot. 8 in the side. Like that. I think that's the only way I see that happening. Is that what you had in mind? Because that obviously works. The only difference being is the amount of control that you have to have for these first 2 shots, right? Little bit of a margin of error there because obviously if you don't control it, and I don't mean to say if you don't control it correctly because that's the devil's advocate to any pattern. If you hit too hard, if you hit too soft, you're going to miss this or that and the other. But when we take about, that is going to be the thing here, that there's just the possibility of just making just a small mistake because the cue ball just doesn't roll too far, or it rolls too far, or it doesn't roll far enough. Let's see here. Let's look at another pattern. Eric Rank, I hope I said that correctly. You're thinking 10, 14, 13, 11, 9, 8. So kind of the same thing. If we play the 10 ball first, we have to do it from somewhere out here. So that way we can play this in, or I mean, I guess you can put the cue ball right here close to the rail and kind of just stun out this way, because you want that angle on the 14 ball that's going to require a little bit of bottom spin, maybe a touch of right spin to get the cue ball to come out here. So that way you can play stop shot, stop shot. Like it's cool to see how everybody likes going from the 13, the 11, the 9, and the 8. If the 8 is supposed to go into the side pocket, everybody's at least agreeing on that. But you get to see the cool part about how everybody has different openers, right? There's no right or wrong way to do it, but there are better ways to do it. And these are the things that we learn through practice, because like I said, if we can minimize our cue ball movement, like Tony Robles likes to say, we get to maximize our results. So this is good. I like this. If I guessed it correctly, let's try to do one more. Let's see. We got TRMR. What's going on? I haven't seen you in a while here. You're saying 11, 9, 13, 15, 14. Okay, so this is the 10 and this is the 14. So you must think, okay, so this is what you're talking about here. So when I look at that, that makes me think what? Here, stop shot, here, stop shot, maybe a little bit of draw, maybe. But again, here's the hard part. Shooting this ball into here, getting the cue ball to come out over here, and getting a good angle to hold the 10 ball, it's certainly possible, right? It's not impossible, but the margin of error that you're going to run into to try to hold the cue ball for good positions to minimize your cue ball movement, so that way you can possibly play the 8 ball here into the right side pocket. I'm guessing that's the way that you can do it. Again, it's certainly possible. I would just be a little wary between transitioning from the 13 to the 10 to the 14. I mean, it's a pattern I could do, but could everybody, or obviously maybe skill level 2s and skill level 3s might not be able to do it, because they usually tend to have more aiming accuracies. But if we were to take all these different patterns and have maybe a skill level 3 or a skill level 4, which pattern is going to allow them the highest chance of being successful? That's pretty much what I like to look at here. So I love all the suggestions here. Let's see what she decides to do. She likes the 11 ball in the side pocket. Let's see what she does. We see some top spin. She's looking like she's going to put on the cue ball. That means the cue ball is going to roll forward. Is that going to be for the 10 ball or the 13 ball? It's certainly not going to be for the 9. I don't think she hit that hard enough, so I guess it must be for the 13. Oh, and barely missed that shot there. So that means she wanted to go, I'm guessing 10, 14, 9. So hopefully you see what I'm talking about here, is because look at all the movement that she tried to do there. It looked like she might have underhit her first shot. The cue ball did not follow forward enough, and therefore she had to bridge over the 8. So if she would have hit it just a little bit harder, she would have been free and clear from having to bridge over the 8 ball, and probably would have had a higher chance at being able to make the 13 ball. The 13 ball is certainly makeable, right? But when you're bridged over a ball, it's a little bit of an uncomfortable position, right? It makes things just a little bit more difficult. It makes the margin of error a little bit bigger, and we want to keep that margin as small as possible. Let's see here. So once again, all I can do is bank. Let's see if I can bank this ball into the cross side pocket here. It looks like I might have some stun right spin, or maybe a little bit of draw right spin. Oh, never mind. Y'all know what I was trying to do there? I am more than certain I'm not trying to make this ball. I'm more than certain I'm not trying to make this ball. Bottom left spin, since I sent the cue ball up table. I want to knock her ball in. I'm probably more than certain that's what I was trying to do. I want to knock her ball in and guard the pot. I mean, if I happen to make it, right? I have position on the 8-ball. But I don't think I would actually try to aggressively do something like that. I mean, maybe I did. I'm not sure. But I would have to think that I actually wanted to knock her ball in and block the pocket at the same time. Why? Because of that ball right there, right? I seize control of the table, even though I give her the table to be able to come and shoot. I'm pretty sure that's what I wanted to do there. Pretty sure. So she takes the duck. I probably would have played the combo. All right, let's go back and look at that again. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think the only thing I would have done different here is to play this with some right spin, right? Let's kill the angle of the cue ball coming off of that short rail, so that way the cue ball stops right around here instead of where it's at. Right? Because this is where it naturally wants to go. Maybe she put a touch of left spin because that cue ball spun, or that cue ball is coming out kind of wide, right? So if we kill the outbound angle, get the cue ball to stop right here, we have the 10, possibly the 9. I don't know what kind of angle we'd have to cut the 9 into the side pocket, but we have more options than what we're currently left with right here. Let's see here. What are we going to do? Ooh, what is she doing with that 14? Oh, she wanted to cut that ball. Do you see how much pace she put behind that? She wanted to cut that ball in. She's like, I'm going for it. I'm not playing safe. I'm going for it. Let's see. Craig Downing, you're asking about she can't move the 8-ball. Is it a foul? It is not. The only way it would be a foul is if the cue ball came back and touched the 8-ball after it was accidentally moved. So here in the APA, they're not very strict about all ball fouls. There are some scenarios to where, like I described, if the cue ball would have came back and hit an accidental ball, that would be considered a foul. But otherwise, you try to move the ball back to where it was. So I'm tired of banking shots, so that's why I did that there, right? I at least hit the 5-ball so that way it gets a little off of the short rail. So hopefully, wherever she leaves me at now, I might be able to cut the 5-ball into the bottom right corner pocket. But then I leave her so close to the short rail so that way she has hardly any access to the cue ball unless she wants to elevate her cue. Oh, how'd she hit it? How'd she hit it? Little unfriendly bump there on the 8-ball. It looks like it cuts off her 14, I think. Not entirely sure. It looks like maybe she can see it. She can see it. Good shot. Don't want the cue ball to do that, though. Where was her cue ball at on this one? Yeah, so I don't know. Who tries to draw the cue ball back to play the 9-ball in the side pocket, and who tries to do a stun run through and get the cue ball to stop right about here, roll forward to about right here to play the 9 into the upper left corner pocket? Because those are the two options that I see there. You either try to draw the cue ball back to play the 9 in the side, or you do a slight stun run through and have the cue ball just dribble its way forward and shoot the 9 into the corner pocket like she's going to, but she'd be a lot closer. Oh, just barely overcuts that ball. But now, like I said, since I banked my 5-ball a little closer to the corner pocket and left the cue ball relatively safe, at this point in time, I might as well try to go for it. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to cut this ball in. I don't know what spin I'm putting on the cue ball because I can't see it. That probably was just center right, and I wanted the cue ball to just zigzag its way and get some sort of positional shot on the 8-ball, but clearly I didn't get that. And And guess what I have to do again? So the funny part about me doing these live streams now instead of doing post production videos is I always come up with some sort of title of like how would I have titled this video? And you saw me do a one rail kick shot. I've banked the 8 twice so far, and now I'm about to try to bank the 8 again. Right? So this is a kicks and banks. Actually, I did a lot of bank shots in this match here. So this is a kicks and banks match. So do I bank this 8 ball into the cross side pocket? Probably with a little bit of left spin. I do. And I take the match down 5-1. Right? So, one thing I really liked about the way my opponent plays here is what y'all saw is how softly she typically hits the vast majority of her shots. I think that, to me, I think that's always a good thing. It allows you to be the most accurate, and then, but then you can't always just rely on that. Sometimes you have to move the cue ball around. And so, but it's going to be hard or harder to judge where the cue ball is going to go if you don't even know where the cue ball naturally goes by itself. And that's usually why I always teach all my beginning team members to hit the ball rather softly. We don't want to hit too soft to where like the object ball doesn't even hit a rail, therefore you commit a foul. But I tend to teach them to hit the ball softly, soft enough to where they can make the ball and watch where the cue ball goes all by itself. They start to learn if they're going to scratch. They start to learn if they're going to get natural position on a next shot, so that way they know what shot they're going to do right after taking the first shot. And when that starts to become more and more accurate, then I start teaching them how to use top spin, how to use bottom spin, left spin, right spin, etc., etc. Because, like I said, in my opinion, it gets easier to understand how to control the cue ball when you already know when you have a good understanding of where the cue ball goes all by itself. So my hat's off to her. I got to thank her for allowing me to be able to post this video for everybody to see. And if she happens to catch this on a recast or something, hopefully the stuff that I mentioned here, she'll be able to find helpful as well. All right. We're just going to take a small break here as I prep up for the next match. I am welcomed to any questions to answer if y'all want. As I start setting up the next match, and the next match is a good one. I hope everybody's going to like this next match. Let's see here. What's everybody talking about? So when I asked the question about drawing the cue ball back for the 9 ball in the side pocket or doing the stun run through, it looks like we've got a mixture of both, right? Some people prefer to draw the cue ball back. Some people prefer the stun run through. This is cool. I always love having the interaction. So somebody sees Zelda. Which way do I have to turn? Well, that doesn't help. How about if I just get out of the way? There we go. He's just sitting over there chilling. You want to come say hi to the world? Or are you gonna run off? Yeah. Ugh. Come here, you big chunk. You want to help me review the next match? Look at this big old fur ball. That's a whole lot of cat. And he's like, please put me down. This is embarrassing. All right? Yeah, you want down, don't you? All right. There you go. If you're lucky, there's a couple of toys that he does have back here. Maybe he'll start playing around with them while while we're talking, or when I review the next match. You might just see him just like bounce all around. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. MHF 1979. Can you just move the ball? Is it illegal as in move it so you can let? No. So like there's if I understand your question correctly, there's a fine line between accidentally moving a ball, and exploiting that, right? Because when you think about it, because since accidentally moving a ball, that's why I think even in some of the rules, like I think in BCA and I think like in Texas Express, you have to pay very close attention to know whether or not if the cue ball was going to pass through where the ball was originally sitting. Because if that's true, that's a foul. Because the whole entire layout of the table has now been changed since you either accidentally moved a ball versus really accidentally moving a ball. And actually, I think even in APA that works the same way. Because if you can tell that the cue ball was going to hit a ball that was accidentally moved, like I said, the entire result or the entire layout of the table has been changed, and so therefore you should not be rewarded for something like that. You should be punished for something like that. So you can't just arbitrarily move balls because at least in the APA you're allowed to move it back. There will come a point in time to where you can give the player a warning saying like, hey, stop doing that. Because how often how often are you going to see someone accidentally move a ball like 3 or 4 times in a row, right? So if they don't heed the warning, then it could basically be something for unsportsmanlike conduct. But you're saying you saw it during a junior APA match. Now, when it comes to kids, I don't know. They might be just a whole lot more lenient with the junior players. I don't know. I'm not a junior player, nor have I been to a junior event. But I mean, the rules stay the same whether you're a junior or whether you're an adult. Now, how those rules are enforced, that might be a little bit different between junior and adult. But I honestly couldn't tell you. Let's see here. Vinay, did I get Zelda to sign a release form to have his? I know Zelda is the female name, but that cat's name is Zelda, and that's a he. And it's a funny story because the vets originally said that it was a she until we went and got the cat fixed, and a phone call basically said we have a problem because we found something, and it's not a her. So Zelda is a he, and so I know that kind of makes things kind of goofy, but it is what it is. Let's see, Jim Hooland, I hope I said that right, or Howland. You hit a shot, and it hung in the pocket tonight in my tournament. Hit it too lightly. No rail was technically hit, but it crossed the imaginary cushion line through the pocket. Is this a foul? Yes, it's still a foul. If you would have at least caught the inside jaw of the pocket, right? You hit a rail. That includes the inside jaw of the pocket. But if it's just rolling towards the heart of the pocket, does not fall, and nothing else hit a rail, that is a foul. That unfortunately is a foul, because you have no rail contact, nor did you make the ball. So yes, that would end up being a foul. Okay, actually, if y'all could excuse me for a second, I will be right back. And we're back. Okay, so let me check and see if there's any more questions. Doesn't look like it. Let's go ahead and review. Actually, you know what? There's new people in here. I see that I have 86 viewers in here, 58 likes. If you've come to this stream new and you haven't done so already, just do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Hopefully, at least some of the stuff that you may have seen towards the tail end of that first match there was useful. Whether or not if you have similar issues to what I had during the match or similar issues to what my opponent has and the advice that we were throwing around, you find helpful. But I will do another plug for my current giveaway. If you look at the pinned comment in the live chat, I have a product review video. I'm only going to pull out the butt end of the cue this time. For this J Flowers JFBK2, otherwise known as the JF Force brake cue. This is just a single brake cue. This is not a jump brake cue. This is a 19.4. I think when I weighed it out, it was 19.4 ounces, including the carbon fiber shaft, because it's a 13 millimeter pro taper carbon fiber shaft with a phenolic tip. This grip here is embossed leather, and I'm giving this cue away to a lucky subscriber. And the way you could possibly win this cue is if you go and watch the product review video, especially if you haven't seen it yet. Give that video a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section below about what you saw, like how I reviewed it, how I tested it and stuff. And then if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, because I only allow subscribers to my channel access to these giveaways. And then you have to also make sure that your subscription list is public, because when that video gets 1,000 likes, which I will tell you right now, that video is currently sitting at, let's do a refresh, 645. So 355 left to go. When that video gets 1,000 likes, I'm going to do another live stream like this, and I will randomly select a comment from that video, which that video currently has 515 comments. I don't know if any of them are repeated comments, but the program that I use on the web will randomly select a comment from that video. And when that comment is selected, I go to that user's YouTube channel, regardless if they produce content or not, because I want to see if I can see their subscription list. Because if I can't see their subscription list, they will not be a winner, and I will just go and choose somebody else. But if I can't see their subscription list, but I'm not in it, then they're not going to be a winner, and I'm going to select somebody else. So, like I said, if you have the time after this live stream, or you can go and watch it now, just be sure to come back. And if it's the first time you've ever seen that video and you like what you saw in it and you want a chance to be able to win this free one, then give it a thumbs up and follow the rest of the instructions. The instructions are outlined in the video as well, because I explain it. And so either when, like I said, when that video gets 1,000 likes, or just too much time passes. Like, so I'm gonna give it away regardless. I just like to try to give these milestones to where, like, in the past I tried to say, like, I want my video to get like X number of views, and so far every milestone that I put on every one of those videos, they were never reached. And I still end up giving the cue away anyway. I actually think the very first product review video I ever did, I still gave it away before it hit its milestone, but afterwards it finally hit its after I gave it away, it finally hit its milestone. All right, so but since then, the other product review videos that I've given away through product reviews, I'm sorry, they haven't hit their milestones, but I still gave them away. And usually what happens is oh, I almost forgot, because if you are the selected winner, because I learned something new to help keep track of, to make sure that whoever contacts me is the actual person that's supposed to receive it. Because I've always wondered, will there be a time when someone tries to make themselves off as the winner when they're not the real winner? Fortunately, I haven't, as far as I know, I haven't had to deal with that. But now I learned a new method to get around that, And that is when I select the winner obviously has to contact me, right? And so when they contact me, I'm going to give them some sort of random code. And if they are the real person that won, the comment that I selected, they should be able to go and edit their comment with the code that I gave them, right? Because only the owner of that comment can edit the comment. I at least have the power to delete the comments, but only the owner of the comment can edit the comment. So that's going to be something new that I add to my giveaway process to basically validate who the person is. I saw Shortstop on Pool do that with his recent giveaway because he recently hit over 10,000 subscribers. So congratulations to him. And he had a giveaway going on it. So that was really cool when I saw that. So I definitely want to use that for another security measure to make sure that the rightful person gets the prize of whatever it is that I'm giving away. Now, having said all that, now let's go look at the next match. All right. I don't know if y'all can recognize the individual that is to my right, but he has been on my channel a couple of times already. There are at least 2 videos, I think. I think I have 2 videos. I don't know if I have 3. That are basically titled Battle of the Super Sevens, because that's what him and I are. It was only like, I think a year or 2 ago that I even heard the term Super 7. A 7 that's beyond the normal skill level of a 7. And I think that just equates to, someone saying like the Fargo, if I were to incorporate my Fargo rating, which I'm only a 633, but nonetheless, I digress. Myself and this gentleman here, we are at least in like in the top 10, maybe top 10, top 15 players in our immediate area. And the 2 videos that I showed playing against this gentleman here, I lost. All right, so now we're going to get to see live, can I redeem myself? Because I lost the first time I published a video against this guy here. And then in my second video, I titled it Redemption, ? Didn't get my redemption. So let's see if I can get redemption here. Let's see who wins the lag. So since it's 2 7s playing against each other, it's a race to 5. And I lost the lag. All right. So it looks like my opponent's going to go for an 8-ball break. Hits the ball in the second row. What a way to start the match. Huh? What a way to start the match. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? Hold on. Let's look at that again. Let's look at that again. Watch that 8-ball get pinballed around until it finally fell into the right side pocket. Right, left, boom, and gets knocked in by the 1 ball. I think it at least came in contact with like it hit a ball 3 times before it finally went into the side pocket. And an 8 on the break counts as a win in APA. What a way to start the match. So now I'm just like, oh, what am I gonna do from here? Like it is like if I'm able to win a rack, right? Because a lot of momentum just swung in his favor, and I have to try to steal that momentum back, right? Whoo! Oh, look at this. He's gonna go for it again. It's never mind. Cue ball stops it this time. Oh man. All right, here. Did he make a ball on the break? I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So not stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's solids. All right. So even for him, I have to wonder about this 5 ball. He has the 2 ball, so that way he can break open the 5. He's going to start with the 3 ball, cuts it nicely into the corner. Cue ball's moving quite a bit of distance. I don't think he wanted it to move that far, but he does have a shot here on the 1 ball to go into the top left corner pocket. Oh, he is glancing at the 5 ball. Does he want to try to cut the 5 ball past the 8 and the 9 to go into the bottom right? I'm pretty sure that might be what he's considering. But you see what he's doing? The same exact thing I do. Going around casing the entire table before he makes the decision, even after he already made a decision on the first shot. Didn't really get the position that he wanted after the first shot, so therefore he's got to reassess everything again. Nice cut shot on the 1 ball, but scratches. And I have cue ball in hand. John Jones, you are correct. An 8 on the break does not count in BCA. You only have the option to respot the 8 and continue shooting, or re-rack and break again. So I have ball in hand and don't really have any issues. So the only thing I can hope for is to not screw up. So I'm pretty much looking for a pattern. So it looks like I like the 13 ball first. What am I going to do here? That looks like a rolling cue ball, so a slight above center hit. Have the cue ball go over to the side rail and come back. Gives me position for the 15 or the 11. I'm guessing it's the 15, so probably a stop shot. That gives me position on the 12. What am I doing there? So that was just a rolling cue ball. Didn't try to control anything. 11 ball in the corner pocket. I have to be playing this with top left spin so I can get the cue ball near the middle of the table. Actually, that looks like center left spin. And I botched the ball. All right, so what would the rest of my pattern be, if y'all can guess, especially considering where the cue ball ended up? It looks like it would have to be 14 in the corner. Have the cue ball come off the short rail, come towards the middle of the table. Play the 9 in the corner. Cue ball comes off the side rail to get position on the 12. 12 goes in the corner, and 8 goes into the side pocket. That would have been the rest of my out had I not screwed this up, even though I had ball in hand. So now, let's see what my opponent can do with his position here. Because really, this is the only issue he has on the table. How does he get down here as well as still be able to deal with the 5 ball? You would think he probably should shoot the 2 ball now and maybe deal with the 5. That looks like what he's going to try to do. Yeah, but he doesn't get the 5. Now he's coming back down here for the 6, so this is a good thing. Now he can get rid of the 6, but unfortunately, since he bumped the 9, right? You see him? You see how he points at the 9 ball? The 9 ball stops his 5 ball from going here. So now his 5 ball is really in trouble. Okay, easily plays that ball there. And so here I would have to think he's going to want the cue ball to go over to the short round and come and bump into the 5 ball. There he goes. Oh, maybe he didn't want to touch the 5 ball at all. He wanted to bump into the 8 ball and get behind the 5 to shoot it into the upper right corner pocket. That was a very precise shot, and he actually almost nailed it. So, unless he makes this shot, I might be a little fortunate here. What do y'all do here? Right? You would obviously think he has to try to cut this to the corner pocket, or does he try to bank it to the cross side pocket? Which one would y'all try to do? Embrace Marriage Ministries. You're saying you love my videos. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. You learned a lot from them. You recently got back into the APA and played your first match in 7 years and won. Congratulations, bud. I hope any of my stuff hopefully helped make that made that possible, or helped make that possible. That's awesome. Let's see. He's thinking long and hard about this. Like, there's really there's no way to play safe as far as I'm concerned. I've got two balls sitting near corner pockets. You either have to make this ball or you have to actually, yeah, you have to make this. Let's see what he's trying to do here. And based on that, I have to believe he was going for the double bank. He wanted to zigzag bank that 5 ball into the upper right corner pocket, and now I'm lucky to be back at the table. All right, so let's see here. Let's hope I don't screw this one up, even though I shouldn't have screwed up the last time I was at the table. So 14 in the corner, a little bit of topspin, and I'm guessing, yeah, a little bit of left spin there, as I probably was trying to get good position on the 9 ball. Maybe even clip it just so I can get it off of the rail. Checking out the 11 ball. If I wanted to shoot the 11 ball, I would have to rail first it, but why do that? All right, so it looks like I'm going to play the 12 ball here. Considering where the cue ball's at, I'm probably just going to roll the cue ball over here to the side rail and have it come back out. So this is just going to be a gentle shot like this. That gives me access to the 11 ball. If had I hit that a little bit harder, I might have been able to have position on both. But here it looks like a little bit of bottom right spin as I want to try to come towards the middle of the table and have some sort of shot at the 9. Clearly, if I come a little too far, I'm going to be blocked by the 8 ball. But I don't think I'm blocked, and this shot is going to require the high inside 3 railer in order for me to be able to shoot the 8 ball in the same pocket. 1, 2, 3. And that was done with top right spin. Maybe I could have hit that just a little bit harder so that way I don't have a cut angle here, but I should be able to manage this. And how could I even possibly say that when I missed the 11 ball that was up here? And I think with this shot, though, it's just a rolling cue ball. Nope, that had to have been a touch of left spin. So that way I can make sure that I avoid scratching here into the corner pocket. So tie game. I got a little lucky being able to come back to the table. 1-1. Now, when he started that match off with an 8-ball break, you'll notice what I'm trying to do. And I was like, okay, like I can't afford to try to do break and runs against this type of an opponent. So let's see if I can get away with some 8-ball breaks. And the reason why I say I can't afford to try to do break and runs against this opponent is because if you've seen any of my previous streams, I've been breaking dry a lot. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just try to win. Let's just try to win, just like he did. What is that? See? What is that? Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But we do have a nice layout here. You see me like, let me just kick the table and see if the 8-ball falls. Let's see here. What do we got? Is the table open? If the table's open, that's going to be a good thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or no, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 3, 6, 7. I'm stripes. Never mind. The table is not open. But it's not really an issue. Well, no, there is an issue with stripes. This is an issue right here, I think. What do we do here? Let's see. Oh, that's right. No, I remember how this rack. This is another rack that I got rather lucky on, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. But look how much time I'm taking walking around the table, trying to figure out what to do, try to figure out what my plan is. 9-ball goes into the side pocket. And you see, what do you think I was trying to do there? I wanted to bump into that ball, and I didn't. I failed to do that. So that was done with a little bit of right spin. Probably, is it a touch of right with top, or I don't think I drew this. Yeah, it looks like I'm near the middle of the cue ball, but at least with some right spin, trying to bump into that ball. And more than likely have that be my next shot. Because if I'm successful at doing that, the rack is solved. Right? The 11 ball freely goes here into the corner pocket here, and there's no issues with this one. Hello and goodbye. Let's see. I haven't seen a spam bot in quite some time. There we go. All right, that part right there, that's where I got lucky because this is supposed to be a safety. This is supposed to be a safety here. And you'd be like, what do you mean? Well, what I was trying to do, as you saw, I put my cue ball down here, which is what I wanted. But what was supposed to happen was I wanted to hit my ball into his ball and bank his ball up table. So that way he has no balls down here to possibly work with. But you can see what ended up happening was the ball caroming off the ball. You can see, like, I throw my hands down, like, this is not what I wanted to happen. This is supposed to be a safety, right? And with where the balls are at, like, maybe he can shoot the 5 ball. Maybe he can shoot the 5 ball. All right, so now I have to go full on aggressive at this point here. I tried to be a little conservative, got, I don't know if you want to call it lucky or got unfortunate, right? Because I didn't want to make that ball, right? So under that condition, I would say that I got unfortunate. But now I have to go for everything here. So when you watch here, since I'm so close to the rail, I obviously have to be putting topspin, so that means my cue ball is going up this way. Bump into the 11 ball, and then look. Do you see that little movement right here on the 2 ball? Watch the 2 ball. Because earlier I wanted to bump into this stripe, but that little movement right there now allows this ball to go into this corner pocket. So I get a lucky bump off of my 11 ball, and then of course it sits in a pocket. But because the 1 ball came and bumped that 2, now this ball's here. So you see how I'm looking to see how I can get there? Watch what I do here with a lot of left spin. Eric Rank, you're asking, you don't play APA and is it slop until the 8 ball? That is correct. In BCA, it's not slop. You have to call the ball and call the pocket. So I play this shot with a boatload of left spin. Get the cue ball to come all the way around. I get a lucky bump on the 5 ball. And now I have a clear path for that stripe to go into the corner pocket since the 2 ball was slightly moved. So all I have to make sure is I get my cue ball past the 3 ball. As long as I can do that, the 8 ball is sitting right there in the side pocket. I didn't make the 8 on the break, but I got a very lucky break and run. And I have no shame admitting that. That is a very lucky break and run. But what can I do with this break? I can make the 8 on the break as well, right? Now think about it. My opponent broke on the right side of the table, and where did the 8 ball go? Into the right side pocket. I broke on the left side of the table, and where did the 8 ball go? The left side pocket. Now, normally when you look at a bunch of 8 ball break videos, you always hear them say that whatever side that you break from, the 8 ball will track towards the opposite side pocket. But more times than not, I've seen this result. And how did that result actually happen? Watch this 15 ball, or this ball right here. Yeah, it was the 15 ball. Did y'all see what happened? I'm going to try to play it in slow motion. This is another thing why I like to watch my videos in retrospect. Watch this ball right here. Watch what it does. Watch how it goes to the side or the short rail, because you see the 8 ball is starting to head towards this way. But watch what happens. Collision and collision, and it sends the 8 ball back over here. That happens on multiple occasions, and I've seen that more often than I've seen the 8 ball go towards the appropriate side pocket that it's supposed to fall into. Craig Downey, you have yourself a good night, and thank you so much for stopping by. But with that 8 ball break, I'm now up 3-1. Ron Johnson, you're not wrong. Rather be lucky than good. But honestly, I'd rather be good. I'd rather be more good than lucky. So let's try another 8 ball break. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. So you can see how effective the second ball break actually works in a league type environment, right? There could be some accidental gaps in there. Dr. Dave did a spectacular video that actually kind of shows that if there's a gap between the 8 ball and the one of the balls that are on the side. So if you're looking at the rack, if there's a gap between the 8 ball and the ball that's on the left, you break from the right side and the 8 ball will possibly track towards the left. If there's a gap on the ball between the 8 ball and the ball that's on the right, you break on the left side, and that will possibly get the ball to fall into the right side pocket. So actually, since I did a bunch of bantering there, let's go back and look at this here. So I'm solids, and you can see I'm not going to try to run this out. All right, so I'm trying to play a defensive shot. This is me playing conservatively against this opponent when normally I play rather aggressive in my APA league. But even in this session, I've been playing a little conservatively as well instead of aggressively. All right, so we've got both of us have crap to deal with here towards the upper left corner pocket. And my opponent has a chance to maybe deal with some of his garbage if he decides to cut the 14 ball in. He might run into his 11. I don't know. The more I think about it, I think I don't think it's a good idea to maybe shoot the 11. But it looks like he's going, or I'm sorry, shoot the 14. But it looks like he's going to. Gently shoots it in. And like I said, the cue ball runs into the 11. But now what? He wanted position. I just now noticed the 15 ball next to my 3. So he's got the position on the 15 ball. 15 will go into the side pocket. Cue ball's got to be moving on this one. There it goes. Except I don't know about that direction. I would have thought maybe try to, come into the clutter and see if you get something, because now it looks like I should be coming to the table at this point. So I think we're about to see a safety battle unfold here. Right? John Jones, what a mess. Isn't that what I titled it in my thumbnail? Because the table picture on the left was the first match, and the table picture on the right was was this match here, and it was this exact moment right here. Right? So I have no reason to try to do anything, so I play a defensive shot. Right? You're just gonna sit here and just watch us try to piece apart one ball at a time to see if we can get our stuff out into the open. So that way we can actually start shooting shots, like what he just did there. He got 2 of his balls out in the open where I only have 1. Now the question is going to be is, if I give him an opportunity to shoot at anything, will he take it when he still has 2 stripes buried in that cluster? Right? So will he take a chance at shooting the 11 ball or shooting this ball here? I can't tell. That looks like maybe it's the 10 ball. It looks like he's going for it. Yep, he went for it, but was unsuccessful at getting his 9, and looks like that's his 13 ball out. Right? So at this point in time, I kind of have the advantage of the table. Right? I just have to carefully maneuver the balls around and try to get them out there. Try to put them in positions where I feel I can make them, and then of course break the stuff open. Now, I actually feel that he did not want to make that ball. I think he wanted to just block the pocket. Murky Joker, you're asking me if I used my tuxedo outside of home? No, I've always just kept it in my garage. All right, so you can see he just plays a gentle safety here, at least separating the 9 ball. But my 1 ball kind of blocks the corner pocket. And I do think I have a free shot at my 6 ball, and I think I do take it, because the 6 ball isn't doing anything. It doesn't serve a purpose. All right, so there's no problem with me shooting this ball off the table. All right, so that's what I do there. That looks like that was done with a bit of bottom left. Now, my problem that I have at this point in time, how do I break this out without disturbing this guy? That's what I'm thinking about this entire time. And so look what I do. Play some sort of safety, and I didn't get it, right? The cue ball is supposed to be right here, right behind the 4 and the 5. So that way I can hopefully have maybe ball in hand afterwards. At least that's what I would like, but not successful. Murky Joker, what do I use when I'm out and about? My Predator Black 4.5. I recently did a video where I put a new tip on it. So the tip that's on the Predator Black 4.5 right now is still the Predator Victory tip. It wasn't until after this session that I finally changed it. So when I made that tip video, that's when this cue here now has a How Soft tip on it. Right? So look at all this safetiness, right? All because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I can do safely with this 7 ball without accidentally risking knocking in the 8 ball. So I'm just moving stuff around until I finally have an opportunity to do so. Right? I don't want to move the 1 ball just yet, even though he might be able to make a ball like right here in between this gap. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? How about we just do this? Yeah, that'll work. Robert Allison, it has mushroomed a couple of times. You're asking about how the how tip is coming out, and I've had to cut it a couple of times. But now it looks like it's to the point now to where it's not going to mushroom anymore. So I think I finally have it at the perfect spot. And I was thinking about eventually doing like some sort of a follow-on video as to like, what do I think of it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? But I mean, summarize, I like it. But I can at least talk about like some of the things that I've had to do with it, like right after putting on a brand new tip. And I actually should have recorded those things, like when I put it back on the lathe and cut it again, so that way I can remove the mushroom, polish it up real nicely, rounded it off and stuff. And so now I think it's finally to the point to where I won't have to do anything to it for a very, very long time, especially with the way that I play. All right, so you can see now my opponent has at least got his 9 ball out in the open, but his 13 ball is very stuck, and so is my 7 ball. So it's still the same issue for me to get my 7 ball out in the open. It's hard for me to do that while not risking the 8 ball. Right? So I'm just not sure what to do at this point. That's why you see me playing all these safety shots, and my opponent is answering back with safeties of their own, and both of us are basically trying to improve the layout of the table for ourselves so that way we can actually attack the table. It's very much like playing chess, right? We're just moving our pieces around until we're like, okay, now we're going to attack. And right here, this is where I screw up. I play my safety, and I wanted the cue ball to be right here. And as I walked away from the table, do y'all see a shot that my opponent can take? Because I saw it the moment I walked away from the table. Do y'all see a shot that my opponent can take right now? Let me know if y'all can see. What would y'all possibly do in this scenario here? Because watch while my opponent contemplates what he's going to do, and then watch what he does. You see, he's thinking long and hard to try to figure this out. I'm over by my teammates, and I'm telling him like, if he sees it, this is what he's gonna try to do. Rod Connor, you're saying 9 cross side? That's not it. Murky Joker, you think 9 in the side also? That's not it. MDU and Robert Allison, y'all have it. Watch this. A great shot with no reward. How lucky could I possibly get, as well as how unlucky could my opponent get after playing a great shot like that, only to have his 9-ball hooked behind the 8? Right? Because remember, I had that lucky break and run. And then now I'm lucky that I'm going to come back to the table. Or I might come back to the table. Of course, he might be able to slop the ball in. Like, I think I remember him and I talking about this afterwards. Like, could he have kicked into the 9-ball and have it carom off of the 8 to go into the side pocket? Because I think that's what he's going to try to do here. Right? He at least doesn't foul. But I got super lucky that that 9-ball did not come out in the open. It was my own fault. I knew that when I played my safety, and since I didn't get the exact safety that I want, I saw that shot immediately, and he ended up seeing it as well. Drawing right off of the 9-ball, comboing his ball in, and just getting unfortunate that he did not have a shot at his 9-ball after that. So now I've got a rather open table here, so I can just try to just play the 1-ball into the corner pocket. Looks like I get automatic position for the 4-ball, so probably just a rolling cue ball for that. This is going to be another rolling cue ball where I go from the 4 to the 7, and then probably from the 7 to the 5, to the 3 to the 8. Never mind. I think I'm probably going to go from the 7 to the 3. All right, probably a little bit of top right spin. Yep. Or maybe not. I did get position on the 5. This is how much I end up remembering. I at least remember that one shot. Looks like I'm going to draw for the 3 into the side pocket, but I got to make sure that I draw underneath it, which I did not do. So that means I have to flare the cue ball. So now the cue ball is going to go 3, possibly 4 rails. And like I said, after a great shot by my opponent with an unfortunate leave, I can luckily take this rack down, and now I'm on the hill. So far so good. Redemption is looking pretty darn good, at least for this match. Can I finish it off with another 8-ball break? Look at it. Look at it. Not quite. But I did at least make a ball. What did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like a solid is down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a stripe is down. It's an open table. I'd much rather have an open table than a closed table. This is the biggest issue on the table right here for both solids and stripes. How would one go about solving this area? And I do not remember if the 9-ball at least passes the 11-ball to go here into the corner. But it looks like I like stripes. Looks like I'm going to take the 14-ball into the side pocket with some top spin. Probably some top right spin to kill the cue ball so that way I can have position for the 15 down here for the lower right. And obviously I don't want to have to bridge over the 1-ball. Like why would someone want to position themselves like that? So here, all I can do is just play the ball in. Or do I look for some sort of safety? Let's see. I don't quite remember from this spot here. So I think when I was standing over here, I'm looking to see what my options are if my cue ball lands over here. So this must be a slight cut to my right, which means the cue ball is going to go slightly off to the left. Yeah. No, I did that on purpose. Now I remember. I did this. I missed this on purpose. I wanted to block the pocket from the 3-ball. Failed at doing that, but I at least blocked the 8-ball from going into this pocket. So now my opponent has to get position on the 8 to go here, and he has to deal with the 6. I do specifically remember I missed this on purpose. This is, again, me playing conservatively and taking the risk of, will my opponent be able to run out given the condition of the table? That means his 3 ball must be last. And so right here, he has to break out this 6 right now, or he might not have a chance to do so. So I'm pretty sure he's going to try to do it here with the 4 ball. Vinay, I like your point there. Is that the good thing about watching a live stream versus a post production video is that you can look at the basically the progress bar, the time bar, to know whether or not if the video is about to end. So you don't know when the match is going to end here in this case. So you saw he tried to break out the 6 but was unsuccessful. This gives me a good indication that I might be coming back to the table, because now, I mean, how does he break the 6 out from here? I don't think he can do it right now from the 1 ball. I mean, and he might be able to do it with the 5. And then I think doing it with the 3 is going to be difficult as well. All right, so you see him in the at the top of the video, hand on his side, because I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking about. He does not want to give the table back to me. Not at this point, I would think. Let's see. What is he doing here? Ooh, he freed the 8 ball. Now from here, does he have the angle to cut the 5 in the side and break out the 6? I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. He's going for it all. Look at that. Can he shoot the 6 in the side pocket? And even if he could, how does he get down table for the 3 ball? This is why I like watching him play. Oh, he said forget the 6 ball. He's going after the 3. Oh my goodness. That was an amazing shot. Does he have a shot at the 6 though? Obviously not to the bottom left corner pocket. Can he? He has to cut the 6 ball to the side pocket and have the cue ball run into my stripes. So that way he has a shot at the 8. Good freaking Lord. How did he hit it? Oh, man, that is super awesome. Where is he going? Top left or top right? I didn't really see where he might have pointed. Where's he cutting it? Oh, it's a bobbling it in the top left corner pocket. Oh my goodness. Vinay, you couldn't have said it any better. A bunch of amazing shots with no reward. Now, what do you do if you're me in this position here? Right? Because now I don't want him coming back to the table. Not with an 8 ball sitting right next to the pocket. I can't play safe. He's liable to just kick it in. So the only thing that crosses my mind is I have to shoot this. If I shoot this and make it, then I have all my confidence I need to be able to finish the table. I got to be able to shoot that 13 ball past the points of the side pocket while I'm on the rail, nothing but topspin. And that's it. I should be done from here. There is no reason I should not run out from here unless, of course, I screw up. Y'all already saw me screw up where I missed a rather easy shot here in the top left corner pocket earlier in the game. Let's see. So what in the world am I thinking about? I'm taking a lot of time here just to be able to shoot this ball into the side pocket. I should be just allowing it to roll forward to get position on the 15 ball so I can shoot past the 9. Kind of like this. And I would basically think that I'm just going to draw the ball. And I don't care if I draw the ball for the 9 or draw the ball for the 11 in the side. Either one, it does not matter. Just as long as I draw the ball. All right, so I can shoot it either one. And really though, I'm gonna obviously shoot the 11 ball into the side pocket, but I think I drew it back just a little too far. So I'm gonna let the cue ball come down to the short rail. I think I have a touch of left spin on this ball here. See, so that way it just kills back off of the angle. I have my cut shot on the 9 ball, and then I can take the 8 into the upper left-hand corner pocket. I think here, again, this is just a rolling cue ball with probably just a touch of left spin. I'm going to keep the cue ball at this end of the table. I'm not going to bother trying to get closer to the 8 ball. And then with some bottom left, so that way the cue ball does not follow it in, I take the match down. I finally got my redemption, at least in 8 ball. Because against this opponent here, I think, actually now that I remember, there are 3 matches. There are 2 8-ball matches where he beat me, and I actually have a 9-ball match where I beat him. But I finally at least got some redemption in 8-ball for this particular match. And because of this win, I actually went undefeated in the spring of 2022. So, I hope everybody was able to enjoy these matches here and just basically see just different ways that people can play, right? Because I'm certainly not going to try to advocate that the way I play is the right way to play, but it's at least a way to play just based on the principles that I like to try to play. Whenever I'm not at the table, I'm watching how my opponent plays, and then I start to wonder, what are they going to do when they get here? What are they going to do when they get there? Because if I basically can determine that my opponent's not thinking about that based on the way that they're shooting, then I have the confidence that I'm going to be coming to the table. And so I will have some sort of plan to either attack the table or just continue to try to control the table in order to be able to help me win my match. So I hope everybody was able to find this helpful. I will do one last plug for my giveaway for anybody that's new. I see that there are 80 plus people in here and I have 80 plus likes. Y'all are absolutely wonderful. But if you look at the pinned comment in the live chat, you'll see that I have a J Flowers JFBK2, otherwise known as the JF Force Break Cue. That's this cue right here. And I'm giving this cue away to a lucky subscriber. And the way you have the possibility of being able to win this cue is you have to go and watch that product review video and give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section below, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and then make sure your subscription list is public. Because when that product review video gets at least 1,000 likes, that's when I'm going to go live and randomly select a comment out of that video. And whoever's comment gets selected, I will go to that channel, check to see if I can see their subscription list. Because if I don't see their subscription list, then that selected person will not be a winner, and I'll select somebody else. If I see that they have their subscription list public, but I'm not in that subscription list, then that person will not be a winner, and I will select somebody else. So under those conditions, that will be the winner of the giveaway. And then in order now, I've learned from Shortstop on Pool, in order to help confirm that the person that contacts me is the correct person that's supposed to win the prize, is that when they contact me, I'm going to give them a code. And they have to put that code in their comment. They have to edit their comment, not reply to it or anything. They have to edit the comment because only the owner of the comment can edit the comment. The comment is on my video, so I have the power to at least delete it. Every one of y'all only have the power to like it, dislike it, or reply to it. The owner of the comment can edit it. So when the owner of the comment edits the comment and puts the code that I give them, that's how I'll know that I'm talking to the correct person, and then they will end up winning the queue. After that, of course, they give me a mailing address for me to be able to send them the queue. So pretty much when I end this live stream here, be sure to go over there and check out the product review video and follow the instructions if you want a chance to be able to win this queue. And for anybody else that is new to my channel, if this is the first time you've ever seen any of this stuff, I see a lot of familiar people in my live chat, and I see a couple of new names that I've never seen before. So hopefully if you liked what you saw here, please consider giving this live stream a thumbs up, and then of course maybe subscribe to the channel because I do stuff like this all the time. If this wasn't to your fancy, then maybe at least consider checking out my content, all of the other videos that I have posted on my YouTube channel. And based on that, if you like what you see and you want to continue following and seeing the type of stuff that I post in the future, then at least consider subscribing to the channel. But be sure that you click that bell notification icon so that way you get some sort of notification whenever I do a live stream like this or whenever I publish a video. So with that all being said, I'm going to cut it off for the night. I want to thank the 60 plus people that remained here all the way to the end. Everybody that popped in and out, thank you so much for stopping by. Have yourself a good night.